Today we are in one of the most beautiful cities in France and Europe, Montpellier, France. This city is teeming with energy, elegance, history, and culture, and should definitely be on your list when traveling throughout the south of France. Join me on a journey as we wander its medieval streets, explore its fascinating sights, and learn why this is such an attractive destination for students, retirees, and tourists. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Project Gaia. JP here, and today we are in Montpellier, France. Now, this is an amazing city. It has almost a Paris vibe, but more Mediterranean, more kind of tropical and warm feeling, right? It is very elegant, it's very lively, and has a young vibe. There's a large student population here. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through Montpellier, and I'm going to show you some of the best sights and things to do while you're here. And, we're going to walk through its labyrinth of medieval streets and really soak in all the amazing beauty that the city has to offer. So, let's begin. Now, one place that you must visit when you're here in Montpellier is Place Comedie, which is basically a plaza, right? But this plaza is so filled with energy. I mean, there's people everywhere. There's people dining, wining. You're surrounded by this amazing 17th and 18th century architecture. And it really is kind of Parisian feeling, but more tropical, more southern, more Mediterranean. So I really recommend you take a couple hours to explore this place. I mean, it really makes you feel alive. There's street performers, people everywhere, there's kids, there's all kinds of ages, and it really is a fantastic public gathering spot. So definitely check this out when you're here. Place de la Comédie is the center of Montpellier. This interesting and vast public plaza is a fantastic place to begin your journey throughout the city. The plaza is filled with cafes, restaurants, and bars, and offers excellent people watching, all surrounded by amazingly beautiful architecture from the 17th to the 19th centuries. It fascinates me how alive and connected to others this plaza makes you feel while you bask in the beautiful Mediterranean sun. A couple minutes walk from the Place de la Comédie is Montpellier's Old City. This romantic and beautiful neighborhood is sure to inspire you with its impressive architecture, lively atmosphere, and medieval alley-like streets. If you're quiet enough, you can almost hear the whisper of the past as you walk under these centuries-old buildings. It's a district that takes you back in time, to a place where life was more interconnected, and beauty in the everyday was not taken for granted. Its serious lack of mainstream commercialism offers a pleasant retreat and helps you feel connected to the people on the street in an almost spiritual way. It is elegant yet humble, quiet yet lively, if that makes sense. A must-do when you're in Montpellier is to visit the Musee Fabre. So basically, this is an amazing art museum. It's actually one of the best art museums in France, and France is one of the best art places in the world. So there are a lot of very interesting pieces of art in here. It seems to focus mostly on Renaissance and French painting, but there's a little bit of contemporary in there. There's nothing ancient though, but it definitely is a must-see, and it kind of gets you out of the heat. And you get to see amazing world-class pieces of art. So, let's head in. The Musée Fabre is one of France's most prestigious art museums. It was founded in 1825 and houses a treasure trove of artistic masterpieces spanning centuries. From Renaissance classics to modern marvels, the museum's extensive collection showcases works from the likes of renowned artists such as Delacroix, Courbet, and Bazille. The museum has a fantastic Renaissance collection, as well as equally impressive French paintings and neoclassical pieces. Here you'll encounter a rich tapestry of European art history, beautifully curated to inspire and educate. The museum has several floors, and you can spend a half day to an entire full day exploring its collection and putting yourself into the minds of these fascinating artists. Now, an absolute must-do when you're here in Montpellier is to visit Jardin des Plantes, which is like the main public park here. It's actually the oldest Jardin des Plantes in France, right? So this park dates back to the late 16th century, so about the 1500s it was commissioned. But it is a beautiful park. I mean, it's just, it looks like out of a fairy tale, right? So, you know, I recommend you come in here, you cool off a little bit, and you could just, you know, lounge under the trees, take a little bit of time here if you have the time, and just relax and just enjoy all the beautiful foliage all around you. Wander through the colorful gardens of France's oldest Jardin des Plantes to be truly inspired. This garden offers you a place to relax in the tranquility of nature before continuing on your big tour of Montpellier. This is one of my most favorite public gardens in all of my travels because it is so extensive and brings you a real sense of peace and connection with nature. Besides the amazing flora throughout the garden, I think what is even more beautiful is all of the people enjoying this amazing public space. I love seeing kids running around, students lounging between classes, and lovers getting in a couple of kisses under the trees. This truly is beauty, both of nature and of the human condition to love and admire. A must-see when you're here in Montpellier is to see the Cathedral Saint-Pierre de Montpellier, easier known as Montpellier Cathedral. Now, this cathedral was built in about 1536, although there was some kind of church settlement here since the 1300s. So this site has been special to the Catholic and Christian Church for several hundred years, and this church right here is coming up on its 500th birthday, so it's amazingly beautiful inside. I mean, it's so ornate and just, it really is so foreboding and powerful, this church. Another thing to note is here in the south of France, just kind of like in Italy and in Spain, there's kind of a siesta in the middle of the day, right? So the church closes from about 12:30 to 2:30, so, you know, have lunch then and then either go before or after. So let's head in. Cathedral Saint-Pierre is a stunning example of Gothic architecture and is an enduring symbol of Montpellier's rich history. It was originally founded in 1364 as a monastery chapel, but was then elevated to cathedral status in 1536. The cathedral boasts a serene and lofty nave adorned with amazingly ornate stained glass windows and intricate stone carvings. Sit down in the cathedral, connect to its reflective past, say a prayer, and even if you're not religious or spiritual, this beautiful testament to God will bring you to a place of peace and tranquility during your big tour of this fascinating city. Near the cathedral, don't miss Place de la Canourge. This small garden is beautiful, inspiring, tranquil, and surrounded by beautiful architecture, as well as several cafes and people enjoying its exquisite beauty and serenity, all while having a drink with a friend, parents, kids, or a special someone. So I bet you thought the only Arc de Triomphe was in Paris. Well, I hate to break it to you, but there's one here as well. It's smaller, but I would say it's equally as beautiful, and it's a much quieter vibe than the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. So this area where we are now is on the western part of town. So I would save this to the end because it's kind of a dramatic ending, and then we're going to go to the Promenade de Peru, which is right next to it. And it's a beautiful public space. So let's check them out. This magnificent monument was built in the 17th century to honor King Louis XIV. Its grand archway, inspired by Roman triumphal arches, stands as a testament to the city's rich history and architectural heritage. Admire its intricate carvings and inscriptions, and this monument will literally transport you back to a time of royal grandeur and opulence. Right beyond the Arc de Triomphe is the Promenade de Peru. This elegant, tidy, and organized promenade and garden serves as a testament to Montpellier's attention to beauty and grace. Wander the promenade and be entertained by generations of people admiring the beauty of Montpellier from this elevated point of view. Also, check out the aqueduct. This aqueduct is not from antiquity, but serves as an engineering marvel all the same. Okay, so some tips and tricks for navigating Montpellier, right? So the city is extremely walkable. Most of these sites are in a very compact area. That being said, make sure you bring your walking shoes. You know, for the ladies, don't bring any high heels because it's, you know, you're gonna do a lot of walking and the streets are these medieval old lanes, right? So make sure you bring comfortable walking shoes. That being said, you do not need to drive here. There are parking lots I've noticed on the outside of the city, but you don't really need to drive here. If you take the train right in, the Montpellier station is very close and connects to everything within about 10 minutes of a walk. Next, make sure you get lost in these little medieval lanes. I mean, they're truly beautiful and some of them are very quiet, right? So it's almost like meditative, right? So you go through it and you're just in this old world charm, and it's a very unique place. So I highly recommend doing that. Just don't stay on the main boulevards, you know, where all the restaurants and stores are. You may be able to find a really cool restaurant that you really enjoy on one of these smaller streets. Next, it's a young vibe. This is a big area for students. So you're gonna see a lot of young people, and that's good if you are young, which means there's a lot of nightlife, a lot of parties, a lot of bars. So it's a good thing for that. It's a lively place. If you're older or you don't really like that vibe, you may think it's a little too young. It's not relaxing, I wouldn't say. It's a lively place. Next, and this is true in the south of France and most of southern Europe, so like Italy and Spain, in the middle of the day things close, right? So between about 12 and 2:30, a lot of stuff is going to close. It's kind of like a siesta, right? They don't call it that here, but that's what it is, and you're going to notice that here as well. So, you know, take a break along with everyone, you know, go to one of the parks, they stay open, things like that. The next thing is Monday is not the best day to come because the cathedral and the Jardin des Plantes is closed on Monday. So don't come on Monday if you can avoid it, because those are two really good sites that you really don't want to miss. Next, get out there, go to all the cafes. I mean, you saw there's tons of cafes around here, right? So go to the cafes and enjoy the vibe of it all. I mean, that really is the point of coming here. I mean, we saw all the sights, but Montpellier is really famous for it's just winding streets and cafe culture and nightlife culture. So really get into that. Next, this is true in almost all of France. The smoking culture is very big here. So if you don't like smoking, sit inside, because people do not think anything to just, you know, light up a cigarette right next to you. It's not like the United States. It's how I imagine it was in like the 80s, or when I was a little kid, I remember in the 90s in the US. So there's a lot of that. But if you smoke, you're gonna love it. But yeah, guys, that's it. And you're gonna love it here. I mean, it truly is an amazingly beautiful city, and it's highly underrated. I mean, a lot of people haven't even heard of Montpellier, and it's really a shame because it really is a hidden gem. So when you're in Montpellier, I recommend you travel outside the Place de la Comedie and you go into some of the smaller restaurants and bars. So I got here a giant steak. So France is known for its beef, and this is a whole exotic beef dish. It's really very good, and of course you always want to get the wine as well. So definitely travel off the main plaza and go to some of the smaller restaurants and bars. I have to say at first, Montpellier was not on my big list of places to show you guys on the Project Gaia channel. I visited the city more on a whim from the suggestion of friends I met in other southern French cities. But I am so glad that I visited this city and got the opportunity to show all of my viewers how wonderful it is. It is a city of exquisite beauty, a city of exceptional history, and a city that is young in spirit but deep in the heart. Montpellier really impressed me, and as countless souls roam these very streets over centuries, we too wander her curious narrow alleyways and still are impressed by the beauty of its soul and character. Okay guys, this was Montpellier. Oh, I had a wonderful time showing you guys one of the most beautiful cities in France, and dare I say it, one of the most beautiful cities in Europe. I mean, I just love the energy of it, how beautiful it is, how you really could get lost in all the little medieval alleyways and still end up finding something amazing. Guys, it's been a pleasure showing you Montpellier. And listen, if you like this kind of content, please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video and share this video. It really helps me out a lot. And if you have any questions, any at all, please leave them in the comments below. I get back to all my comments sooner or later. Until next time, guys, take care. Bye.